I can't believe it's been 5 years since I made my first SCR video, and it's currently my third most viewed video on the channel. So what am I gonna do to celebrate that time? Today I'm gonna react to my first ever SCR video. No, I'm not back to making these SCR reaction videos. This is just a special occasion. As always, the link to the original video is in the description of this video if you want to see it for yourself. And if you're wondering why the comments to the original video are disabled, go to the description of this video and I'll answer your question. But with that out of the way, let's get started.
Hello.
You can immediately notice my GoAnimate self at the start of the video. However, if you only started watching my videos from January 2021, which is when I made my first SCR videos, there's a good chance you don't even know what GoAnimate is, but that's a topic for another time.
As some of you may know, I play Stepford County Railway, a British rail simulation train on Roblox.
At the time when Charlie was the head of SCR. Also, I probably shouldn't have said, as some of you may know, as this was my first ever SCR video. The only person that knew that I played SCR at the time was probably my best mate Eddie, whom I ride certain London buses with. And by the way, if you're into bus content, please subscribe to his YouTube and follow his TikTok too.
Today I wanna go over 20 trains I really wanna see on SCR. Let's get started. Number 20, the Class 4424 Airlink. This is a train on Southwestern Railway and formerly Gatwick Express.
This video was uploaded over 2 months before the Class 442 was taken out of service permanently. You see, during the time I made my first SCR videos, we had a major pandemic, and the fact that it took away a lot of passenger numbers, they decided to withdraw the trains in March 2021. I miss these trains, I really do, and I'm sad I never got the chance to ride on one.
It started service in 1988 and is still on Southwestern Railway. Because it used to operate on Gatwick Express, I think this should go on Airlink.
I did have that thought back then, but few years later I realized we can't have the Class 442 on SCR anymore, as it didn't have an area on the roof for a pantograph to be fitted, unlike the 444, 458, and 707 which are in the game. And the 777, or 777 should I say, can be converted to overhead power in real life. And if you want to complain about this and claim that SCR can still add trains that don't have indents on roofs for pantographs or can't be converted to overhead power, that's just gonna fall on deaf ears.
Number 19, the Class 8054 Stepford Express. This is not on service yet, but it will replace the Class 221s on Avanti West Coast.
I rode the Class 805 back in May 2025 when I was on my way to North Wales. They were good trains to ride on.
It will be a B-mode Hitachi A train.
Instead of the bi-mode Class 805, I think it's better to have the fully electric 7-coach Class 807 on Express instead, and of course the Class 810, which is bi-mode and is slightly shorter than other Class 800 series trains.
Here is the diagram of it in the new Stepford Express livery. I know it looks like the 801, but the headlights are different, and that it's B-mode, not electric.
This was based on the artist impressions shown here, but if you look at the real-life version, it looks pretty much exactly the same as the other Class 800 series trains, including the headlights.
Number 18, the Class 7014 Stepford Connect. I know this train already got removed from Waterline in 1.1 because it's not suited for it.
And the fact that the Class 7014 coach was non-existent, though ironically they removed the Class 706 coach from Connect as it was non-existent when they added the Class 701 on Waterline. I still do want the Class 701 on SCR, but bringing it to Connect.
I really want it to be back on SCR, and I think Connect is the only operator that can suit the Class 701.
If you look at the Class 701, the front is different, the cab door is different, it can even operate in overhead power due to the ability to add a pantograph on it. So if you say that the class 701 can't be added to Connect because it's quote unquote similar to the 720, that's gonna fall on deaf ears as well.
Here is the diagram of the 701 if it were to return. The cab doors are different from the 720s, and it's third rail, so who gives a damn?
And the fact the class 701 can run on overhead like I said before. Also in the diagram I should have extended the dark blue part beyond the front doors and make the front doors white.
Number 17. The class 777 waterline.
At the time when we thought there were going to be no more SCR operators until 2025 when we knew Metro was coming back and the class 777 was added. But had Metro not returned, the class 777 would have definitely been a great contender for Waterline.
Here is the diagram of it.
I mean, it doesn't look bad in the Waterline livery, I guess.
Number 16. The class 1974 waterline. This is not on service yet, but it will be built by Cathay, and will go on Transport for Wales. This will be offered in 2 and 3 car variants.
About a year after I uploaded this video, I started to think the class 197 would be better suited for Connect, simply due to the types of routes the class 197 does on Transport for Wales, including regional and regional express services. And what about the class 196? We'll touch on that shortly after.
Number 15. The class 1964 Stepford Connect. This is not on service yet, but it's currently on testing on West Midlands Railway. Once again, this is made by Cathay, but this will be offered in 2 and 4 coach variants. Here is the 4 coach variant of the 1964 Connect.
As such, I think the Class 196 would be good on Waterline instead. Don't worry, the Class 196 four-coach version can fit most Waterline platforms, apart from Morganstown Docks and Whitney Green, of course.
Number 14. The class 2224 Stepford Express. This is a Meridian train. It does look like the 221 and 220 a bit, but the front is very different, so who gives a fuck?
I still want the Class 222 on Express. Such a shame it didn't get added when the other Voyagers got upgraded.
Number 13. The class 67 with Mark IV coaches for Stepford Connect. This will be on Transport for Wales soon on the Holyhead to Cardiff line. Here is the diagram for the class 67 with Mark IV coaches for Connect. In real life, it will have 4 coaches, not 3, but the class 68 on SCR has 3 coaches and not 5 or 6 like in real life. So, who cares?
The platforms are getting longer from version 2.3 and will be getting longer Connect trains then, including the Class 700, the 350, 385, 185, double, etc. And the Class 67 set used on Transport for Wales is a bit over 130 meters long, so that would work well for Connect. It does have a top speed of 125 miles an hour, but the Class 67's front looks very different from the other express trains, which are more sloping. So Connect would be the best contender for the Class 67, in my opinion.
Number 12. The class 3234 Waterline. This is currently on West Midlands Railway in Northern. This was supposed to come to Waterline once all the trains were converted to next generation, which is no longer relevant, but we don't know if it'll be released or not. If it does, here is the diagram of it.
Now it only runs on Northern. Anyway, I still want the Class 323 to be added on Waterline. It's been what, like 7 years since the sneak peek of the 323, and it has never been added, which is a fucking bugger.
Number 11. The class 365 for Stepford Connect.
The Class 365 was added to Connect in November 2023, 5 years since it was first sneak peeked. I won't go further into the Class 365 in this video because you know it was already added.
Number 10. The class 154 Waterline. This is a very common train in England and Wales, and I think this will suit Waterline a lot. Here is the diagram of the 150 if it were to go on the game.
And I still go by this to this day. Nothing else to say about this section, so I'll move on to the next train.
Number 9. the Class 1564 waterline.
The Class 156 was added to SCR in 2024, albeit on Connect. It suits the operator though, but do I still want the Class 156 on Waterline? Honestly, no.
Number 8, the Class 184 Stepford Express.
The Class 180 was added to Express in May 2025 when SCR celebrated 100 million visits, so I don't need to talk further about the 180 in this video.
Number 7, the Class 454 waterline. It's a Desiro Siemens train on Southwestern Railway. It looks like the Class 350, except that the 450 use third rail only.
And it can be converted to overhead power like the Class 444, which is in the game.
I would want to see a Desiro on waterline, and the 450 would be a good choice. This is the diagram of the 454 waterline.
And I still want the Class 450 on Waterline simply due to the fact that it's virtually identical to the Class 350. Yes, the Class 450 does some local routes too, like Brockenhurst to Lymington Pier, Farnham to Guildford, etc.
Number 6, the Class 7554 Stepford Connect. I know this is already on Airlink, but I think it suits Connect more on Airlink.
I still want the Class 755 on Connect. A shame it didn't get added to Connect when the Class 745 got added back in 2.2.0, but they can probably add it when the Class 755 gets a remesh.
They can keep it on Airlink, since the 755 has a route from Stansted to Norwich, but the 755 has no first class in real life, and it's more regional, which is why it suits Connect more in my opinion.
John Roblox did argue that the Class 745 can't replace the 755 on Connect. Yeah, I now get where you're coming from, so the Class 755 should probably stay on Airlink for people that don't have the longer trains Game Pass, but of course add the 755 on Connect.
Number 5, the Class 3974 Stepford Express.
No need to elaborate further on the Class 397 as it was added to Express and Airlink in 2023.
Number 4, the Class 1754 Stepford Connect. This is a train used on Transport for Wales in real life.
Now Great Western Railway. Good to see the 175's return to service. Anyway, let's move on.
It has 2 and 3 coach variants. Here is the 2 coach diagram that I made.
Yeah, I still want the Class 175 on Connect. Nothing else to add.
Number 2, the Class 1724 Stepford Connect. These are turbo stars with end gangways used on West Midlands Railway. The ones with end gangways are the 172/2 and the 172/3. It would also be a good idea to have the 172/2 and /3 combo for Connect.
The 172/2 and /3 combo on Connect wouldn't be a bad idea, but if the 172/2 and /3 were added to Waterline, that wouldn't be bad either.
Number 2, the Class 3854 Stepford Connect. These are made by Hitachi, and they are on service on ScotRail.
The Class 385 was added to Connect in 2024.
Some of you may think it's ugly, but I like the look of it.
For me, it's not the best looking train on National Rail, but it looks good enough. And very soon we'll come to the number 1 train, which was added to SCR less than a year after the original video was uploaded.
And finally, number 1, the Class 4444 Stepford Connect. These are used on Southwestern Railway on services from Waterloo to Portsmouth, Southampton, Poole, Bournemouth and Weymouth.
Yeah, that's the train I was talking about just a few seconds ago. I'm glad it got added to Connect in 1.8. Well, it came out near the end of 2021.
It would work so well with the Class 68 routes, as well as the Class 67.
Somehow I predicted the Class 444 for SCR so fucking well. What I mean by that is that the Class 444 operates the same routes as the Class 68 on Connect, well, minus the diesel-only routes of course. However, the Class 67 would work well on all routes used by the Class 68.
Some of you argue that there's no need for it, considering that we have a 350 already, but hey, you would be able to distinguish between the two, so, who gives a fuck anyway?
When this video was released, I got a few cons asking me to stop cursing in my videos, and unfortunately I still get these comments from time to time. It's sad that I have to say this, but you have no right to tell me to stop cursing on my channel. They're just words. Anyway, let's move on.
And these are all the trains I really wanna see for SCR.
Well, that's not all the trains I want for SCR, but I'm not gonna talk about the rest of them as it's been over 15 minutes now since I started the video. Yeah, I can't believe I've been making SCR videos for 5 years. Holy shit, time flies quickly. I will continue to make SCR videos, including update reviews and that kind of thing, but I won't be doing any more reactions to trains I want to see on SCR videos as I won't have the time to do so. But anyway, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe for future content if you can, and I will see you in the next video.